Hi, I'm Tamara Lackey, and on this Part 2 episode of reDefine show for Adorama TV, I continue my conversation with the lead host of CreativeLive, Kenna Klosterman, and we get the very cool, unique opportunity to ask the one person who's had the most exposure to their platform, and she alone has been part of 500 long-form classes, this great question. What are the key takeaways you've had? What have you learned the most from all of this? Consider this fantastic episode your ultimate shortcut. So with all the things you're doing and with the over 500 live programs that you've hosted, not to mention what else you've watched outside of that, I would say you are arguably probably the most of everybody, the one person who has most seen all the CreativeLive classes. Would you say that's probably true?
I have probably seen more CreativeLive than anyone.
Okay.
Probably. I don't know. I mean, maybe there's people out there that watch CreativeLive every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
But you're also having all these behind the scenes conversations that
Yes.
are kind of cementing these things.
Yes.
So what would you say are the greatest takeaways from all of that learning that you would say, you know what, when I've seen all of this, here are the things that really seem to be repeatedly what I've learned and what really has been cemented for me. What are those things?
Which is awesome because a lot of people ask me like, oh, what's your favorite class? Like, how can I say what my favorite class is?
Who's your favorite child?
Who's your favorite, who's your favorite instructor?
Yeah.
Well, Tamara Lackey, of course. But it's, what I love about CreativeLive is that there are common threads. And I feel like that is what is so beautiful about it, is that sort of the overarching threads are that it's about transformation, and it's not about necessarily your ISOs and your shutter speeds and all this stuff.
Right.
It's actually about learning things and realizing that only you are the one that can move yourself forward in life.
Yeah.
And so all these other subject matters are sort of at the top layer, and they're all amazing, and we're educating people in all creative disciplines and empowering people who want to make money with their craft and what have you, but it's also, at its core, is about that belief in yourself that you can choose to take those steps forward.
Right.
So,
which is a hard thing for people to get.
It's
easy to say.
It is.
It's easy to nod and say, yeah. It's really hard to live. Yeah.
So some of the themes are, that come through a lot of classes, including yours. It's not about the gear.
Right.
So it comes through so much because people like all the, you can do so much on your own, but people you find connect with photos more about the emotion than the sort of the perfection,
right? Especially
people's clients.
They respond to it emotionally. Right. It means more.
Right. And that's definitely a common theme. Another common theme is failure. So I think every successful person that I've met, or all the educators on CreativeLive, talk about failing because you have to fail with purpose.
Yeah.
And that is something that I've seen, and I'm afraid to fail. It's one of the biggest things that holds me back.
Yeah.
And yet, that is the only thing that will push you forward, is going ahead and pushing through that fear.
Right.
Another one I would say is that we're not here sort of to compete, but that collaboration as well as community is super important.
Yeah.
And the more that people are out there working with teams or what have you, and working with each other, that builds everybody up.
Yeah, that mindset of abundance over scarcity.
Yes.
Like, if I share with you, I have less, versus what we can do twice as well, 3 times as well, 100 times as well together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I think the main thing is that a lot of people are looking for some kind of formula, I think, or kind of a lot of people want the pill.
Yeah.
And all of these classes are guidance and are tactics and whatever, but the real learning happens once you actually do. And so you can take as many CreativeLive classes or other classes as you want, like myself. Yeah. But unless I go out and do the thing.
Unless you go to Cuba.
I don't know how to do it. Like, I came to CreativeLive because I wanted to learn post-processing and studio lighting. I still don't know how to use Photoshop. Barely. Sat through like 1,000 hours of Photoshop education, but I don't use it. You have to do the thing.
Yeah.
And
it's like
not
practicing
only
a language.
Yeah. And not only do you have to do the thing, but those are the only people that actually are successful, is just going out and doing it. Nothing is handed to you.
Yeah.
You know, so that formula like isn't really a thing, because we all have our own formula. It is a different path.
Yeah.
But doing the work, I've learned that from not just educators, but from the students that I meet and see and interact with,
Right.
And their growth.
Yeah, you've seen a lot of that progress in people.
Yeah, so it's so many things, but I think those in those areas, those realms are really what comes through from every educator.
Right. So none of your answers were you should keep it at 1/60th of a second.
No, but that's the biggest question that everyone asks, is because, you know, when you start learning something, that is what you're thinking about. And then it takes a bit to get deeper and deeper, but it's not about your favorite aperture.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think I've even had that experience with you. I remember giving this one kind of very emotional talk about handling criticism.
Yeah.
And there was like somewhere in there, one of the big questions of the forum was like, but what's your favorite lens? And I'm like, no, if you can't figure out how to navigate through criticism, it's going to stop you. It's going to hold you back. You're not going to move forward on all your dreams. And you're going to get bitter and frustrated and angry and all the feelings you have when you squash your own ability to succeed.
Exactly.
Because you're the one doing that. And you, I'm sure you, as the host, have had a number of experiences where people will ask that question and you're like, not that you don't wish them the best and want them to have their answer, but you already know at this point that that's not the question.
Right. It's all about asking the right questions.
Yeah.
But you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
You know. You know.
You know? I do know.
But that actually, what you just said was also the other very prevalent theme throughout that I've learned, is that we are the thing that is most in our own way. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And once we sort of realize that and let that go, and just start taking those baby steps, like that is actually when we can create, which is what we're all, you know, here wanting to do anyway.
And do you feel like having gotten that messaging and practiced that messaging, that's made you more confident in the role you're in today?
I think so. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, this is sort of the people that I get to engage in conversations with and talk about these things over and over and over again. It's like that's kind of what my life exudes, and I feel so fortunate. And that's, I mean, if you remember me 6 years ago, 5 years ago.
Oh, you were awesome then too, though. Let's be honest.
I had no clue what I was doing. Yeah. Not that I know now.
None of us did.
Which is the other common theme, is that nobody really knows what they're doing.
Right.
We're all making it up along the way. Right. We all have a path, and we all sort of look up to people thinking that they have it figured out. Yeah. But even if once you've gotten to a certain place, you're still figuring it out, right?
Yeah, you mentioned something earlier when we were talking before we started filming. There is no there. Yes. Yeah, kind of that idea. Yes. Yeah.
Because you meet a lot of people, again, who you know, have people look like they have gotten there. Yeah. And then people are still figuring out that maybe that's not the thing that they want to do, or now they want to do something different. And we know, you know, a lot of people who your whole life is shifting like that.
Yeah. So. Yeah, there's that other mantra that I think has been very helpful, is the idea that the journey is the goal and the goal is the journey. Like if you can kind of really dig into that and repeat it enough times where you believe it, then you are succeeding every day because you're on that journey, and that journey is the goal.
That's right. And I think that's another thing. I could go on and on and on with everything I've learned. But
you are writing a book someday, right? Or in process?
Yes.
Good.
No, I don't know.
Good.
But yes. Okay. Sold. One sold.
Done.
Everyone has a different definition of success as well. And so, you know, for some people that's money, for some people that's freedom, for some people that's working for themselves, or you know, whatever it is, or, you know, establishing a certain level within, I don't know. But I think that people who are able to identify and find out what that success level means to them is also sort of a theme to focus your life and your direction upon, really, because again, if you're looking at other people and comparing yourself to everybody around you, that's not going to make you a better photographer.
It's going to drain your own energy to succeed at what you consider success.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%. That's right, baby. So where do people learn more about you other than tuning in and seeing your face every day on CreativeLive?
Well, yes, there's that.
Yes.
And then you can see my photography. My website is kennakphoto.com. So kennakphoto.com. And then I'm also Kenna K Photo on Twitter. Instagram, I'm the full Kenna Klosterman. Also at Cuba Photo. But you could see, that's my new Instagram.
Okay.
But you
We'll have to follow
can
that too.
see everything, of course, is linked from Kenna K Photo.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank
and your
you,
wisdom.
Tamara. Thank you. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Kenna. That was great. If you enjoyed this, join us here next time on Adorama TV. And do not forget that you can subscribe to Adorama TV for all kinds of education, information, and inspiration.